The committee set up by the federal government to negotiate the adjustment arising from the 30,000 naira new minimum wage has rejected what the government is offering. The committee, which was inaugurated on May the 14th, has also failed to meet the 4-week deadline to submit its report. Joining me to discuss this is a public affairs analyst, Wale Oshunde. It's good to have you join us at this time.
Thanks for having me.
4 weeks after the committee is here to submit its report, and we understand it's actually rejected the 30,000 naira proposed by the federal government. What do you have to say to that?
I mean, it's quite unfortunate. I mean, we take the plight of the ordinary people, with levity, with less concerns in this country. And I think that is quite unfortunate. I mean, how much is 30,000 naira? And then we still have to battle back and forth and then still set up committees. I mean, committee after committee, we are still at this juncture. I think it is unfortunate. I think it is uncalled for. I think government should do better in this regard.
So in what way should government do better? Because the government, said it's necessary to set up a committee to critically look at the matter, because eventually when the 30,000 naira has been approved now, but for those who are already earning before something beyond 30,000 naira before this new signing, they would need an upgrade, and that's what this committee was actually meant to do. So how would government do better?
And so, I mean, when are we now going to have this committee do the proper work that it should do? I mean, when it has to do with sacking of some other people, or sending people to the EFCC, or government wanting to take a particular action that is in the interest of the government, that is being attended to swiftly, But when it has to do with the Nigerian people, with the ordinary people, I mean, then we commonize that, and then we keep setting up committees, we set deadlines, they never meet these deadlines, and nobody's being questioned, nobody's being brought to book. Why is this committee not able to meet with this deadline? We should ask critical questions. And when are we going to start implementing this 30,000 naira deal that you have made with the with the workers? So these are critical questions that we should talk about. I do not see any reason. I don't think, think it can be excused. I do not see why the committee should not, submit its reports, and then I do not see why these should not be implemented right now.
Well, government has mentioned that the payment would take effect from the very month that the bill was signed into law. Let's look at the effect this new amount is having. Already there are concerns that some companies might not be able to pay the 30,000 naira, not just companies, even government at the state level. And there are fears about, there are concerns about retrenchment in some places. What do you say to those concerns?
So for me, and I'll be very honest with you, 30,000 naira I do not think is too much. And that's the truth. I mean, if you need to convert that to dollars, that is nothing. This is the least that any worker is paid in the world. And I see no reason why we should not be able to pay it. See, we should move away from that era of cheap labor, and then we continue to improvise our people. I do not think it is right. I do not think it is fair. And we continue to talk about the fact that 30,000 naira is too much to pay the ordinary Nigerian, and then we still continue to shun aside, or we forget about the huge amounts that we pay to our executive members, that we pay to the legislators, that we pay to other political appointees in government and in the country. So I do not think that anybody can justify the fact that 30,000 naira is not payable, is not workable. Okay,
this new minimum wage is binding on both the private and the public sector.
Good.
So if you look at it from the angle of an employer of labor who is battling the issue of taxing, some talk about multiple taxation, federal, state, local government, you just have to pay taxes everywhere. Would you still hold this position?
So that's fantastic. I mean, because you have mentioned the salient issues that we should address. Government should address critical issues bordering on infrastructure. I mean, there is no power for the entrepreneurs to work on their factories. They have to buy diesel and all that. If we have power, I do not think that would be a problem for them. Then you have also mentioned the issue of double taxation. Why should we have unnecessary duplicity of tax authorities in Nigeria? And then you want the federal government to collect taxes from these guys. You also want the state government. In some places, you even have the local governments, going to bring on receipts for permits, for licenses, for parking, and all sort of things. So I've been saying that the ease of doing business in Nigeria is becoming a scam. And I think government needs to do more in that area. So until we come to that juncture where we tell ourselves the truth, and then we hold governments to account, and then we continue to, we begin to address these critical issues that can help our people leave that phase of poverty and, transit into developmental objectives. We will continue to be at this stage. And it's unfortunate that we're here.
All right, then I hope we can get to that level of, total emancipation. Public Affairs Analyst Wale Oshonde, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.